Hello. This is officially the first episode of Terry Talks. Um, I am not going to be editing. I am just going to use this as this in the same manner that I would be using Instagram Live. So I'm not really sure how this is going to go down, but I hope you enjoy the first episode and hopefully I'll be getting better at this. But I did not want perfectionism to take over me not doing this. Um, I do have some notes that's going to help me to guide this conversation, guide some of my random thoughts, have it not be too random. So, here's how I'm going to start all of my podcasts. I think this is going to be my tagline. Hey, it's Terry Talks by your favorite no bullshit artist and business coach, Terry Froman. Your no bullshit. Ooh, we'll see how this goes. Your no bullshit artist and business coach talking all things taboo, uncovering the art industry nonsense, grounding in confidence and leadership abilities to run your business with unwavering power and grit. I want to spend hopefully the rest of my life, dismantling the starving artist bullshit, one artist at a time, by supporting ambitious artists from passion to profession. I swear I will get that down. I will cut that shorter. But that is the gist of what this podcast is going to be about. Um, so, like I said, I have not rehearsed this. I have not scripted this except for that part. The name may change, but this is really a testament to how I would navigate my clients trying something new, just diving in, getting a head start of myself and of my own thoughts, and really diving into my natural confidence and my natural ability to be curious and to just take risks and see how things go. Um, Especially when you're in a space in your life where things just aren't going as planned anyway. I think it's really important to then play and have fun and use creativity, not just in your visual expression, but also in your voice and the way that you want to convey messages to people. There are so many different ways these days: email, Instagram, all the social media platforms, and of course, podcasts have been the number one way to reach millions of people who will either resonate with you, will find you interesting, will find you entertaining, all that stuff. So I'm diving into this head first. And one of the things that I have been really curious about when I thought about doing a podcast, I knew that it was a seed that was being planted already. I knew that I wanted to reach more people, but like change things up because I felt like social media had flatlined for me. I knew that TikTok wasn't really my thing. I'm not much of a performer, as confident as I am. Um, and so when I'm trying something new, I'm definitely a research bug. I will look into something until I'm blue in the face just to get inspiration, to look at how the platforms operate, to look at whose voice I like and how they move on podcasts. And do I even like podcasts? Because I have never really listened to them. I've always been someone in my car, and I love driving. That is like my freedom. That is my space. That is my like walk. Um, but I either drive like in complete silence or work in complete silence because my thoughts need space to be loud. Um, or I will turn on some music. But in order for me to dive into the podcast world, I wanted to really do due diligence to my research. So what I've been doing is listening to podcasts from dating, from self-help, motivational, leadership, entrepreneurship, and business. Everything from professional to personal. And I have just been diving in as I'm walking to a cafe, try and turn one on, whether they're long or short. I definitely probably have been more interested in some of the short ones, but I don't know how I'm going to respond on this podcast. So I've kind of just at this point kind of seen it all and wanted to just be curious about all of it. I also knew that if I was testing this out, that I did not want to invest any money yet on a podcast platform, such as I think it's like Sprout or something audio something. Anyway, if I am just testing this out to see my own personal habits, can I keep up with it? Do I enjoy it? Do I feel free? Does it feel fun? Then I'm going to hold off on purchasing anything, making an investment, a long term investment, before I really, test this out fully. So, I'm getting myself acquainted with the podcast world. I'm looking at topics, I'm looking at trends, I'm looking at the way that people open up their podcasts, similar to my tagline that I'm definitely going to work on. Um, Giving people an opportunity to get to know me in a different way off Instagram, but also using my same kind of energy and vibe to express myself here. So, that's kind of the thought behind. Oh, look at these. That's sort of the thought behind me coming on here very, unhinged, I guess, and I will probably come on here unhinged all the time. So, as I've been listening to these podcasts, I've definitely been picking out the ones with really, really clear topics, whether it's like a question that goes to a very, like, specific, um, topic, or whether it's a like theme, and so something that's like very clear to me are the ones that I've been attracted to. And so I actually recently, I've been following this podcast sort of guru, and I love her vibe. I attended one of her free master classes, picked up a lot of inspiration, a lot of things to think about in terms of like how to approach my audience on here, since I'm going to be building this brand new audience, hopefully. Um and then I really dove into her podcast because I wanted to see how she performs, and I wanted to see, like how she is attracting her viewers. Does she attract me? Um and one of the episodes that I pulled up was the latest one. That's another thing that I've been looking at, like who's been posting pretty consistently. She had posted something last week about the shame around money and just like cutting that shit out, and complete nonsense around high ticket pricing, and kind of this fad around high ticket pricing. And I've been struggling in the coaching industry, understanding the trends that are happening, understanding the business ethics and the messaging, and like who's being genuine, who's not, who's just talking shit, who's throwing numbers around to attract their ideal clients, and how does that work? Right? There are moments where I'm like, damn, I wish that I had that data. I wish that I could maybe throw around those numbers and like reel people in. It's not my style. Is money has never been my style. I wouldn't be in the art industry if money was like the number one, you know, thought in my mind, or the number one goal. I wouldn't have been an art teacher for over a decade if money was like my number one reason for living. And so it really resonated. But let me talk more about her podcast. And so she was talking about this fad around high ticket clients and really promoting your highest ticket service. And so, for instance, a high ticket service would be like my one-on-one coaching, right? That's the most attentive, it's the deepest dive, it's the most customized experience. It really hones in on, building your levels of confidence, building your sales practice, building your own business ethics and boundaries, right? It's really person to person and artist to artist. And I love that type of intimate work. But those are my hardest packages to sell, because the art industry still has a lot of resistance around investing in themselves, right? Investing in themselves, to a point where it becomes a very fucking real thing, right? Because when you invest in yourself, you have to follow through. I've had clients pay me tons of thousands of dollars and not follow through, but that's not a reflection of me. And so when she was talking around these high ticket services and how, people are flaunting, their $10,000 months. And it's interesting because she was using very high numbers in my mind, right? Money is very subjective. She was saying how her low tickets were 5K. And that's very different than my pricing strategy and my pricing tiers. So, anyway, um, I'm listening to her talk about this, and she's saying, that some of her lowest ticket items are the most popular, that she is able to bring in the most revenue from those low ticket items. She's able to reach the most people with those low ticket items. And it's not about putting things on sale, it's simply about the fact that, like, the purpose of having that really magical low ticket item does not have to, it doesn't mean that it's of any lesser quality, right? It should not be if you have the business ethics that, really are purposeful and thoughtful and genuine and all those things. So I really resonated with that because I have done a lot of work and I've wanted to do more work this year on reaching people without numbers, reaching people at their most raw place, whether it's like shit has not been going well in my business. I need a revamp. A fucking I need new ideas. I need guidance. I need, all this stuff. And I wanted to make that accessible monetarily, but also accessible to the mind, right? If you can open your mind to the idea of reaching out for support, that to me means more than almost what I'm charging you. Because at the end of the day, my knowledge is invaluable. Your artwork is invaluable technically, right? Putting numbers on these things gets really tricky. It's emotional and it's subjective. Um, and, and it's objective, right? You have to play both of those sides of things, right? How do I put a price on something that means so much to me, but at the same time, right? I want to provide, I want to do this. I want to do this for fun. I want to do this because it fucking means the world to me. So when she was discussing that, she was discussing, reaching more people and with, even some of her, free aside from some of her free content, right? That lots of people consume, including myself, right? That's how I met her, was signing up for a free masterclass. Actually, how I met her was that she happened to be on a podcast and collaborated with an influencer I've been following who used to live in Brooklyn, where I live. And my connection with her from maybe 10 years at this point, I've been following her. So I follow everything she's doing. I think she's a TikTok genius. I mean, she now travels the world hosting TikTok masterclasses. So I digress. But it just resonated. So then the next day, I messaged a friend of mine who just got a studio at Industry City in Sunset Park, Brooklyn. And he's been doing tattoos out of his apartment for quite some time. He had an extra room, so he kind of set it up as like a tattoo parlor. And I've been, my tattoo sort of mind has been churning. My ideas have been churning recently. At the sort of the wake of my grandparents' death, I've been really thinking about how I want to, I guess, what's the word? Uh, Fuck. I totally forgot the word I wanted to use, but, um, not ornate, I don't fucking know, but adorn my body and express myself that way. So, I hit him up on DM and I'm like, I see a new tattoo that he just did, and I'm like, "Wow, his skill is progressing so fucking much." Like, he has been killing it. He actually touched up my fingers, I think it was, like, maybe last year, and he charged me, like, close to nothing. Like, he's my homie, great. He didn't have to. Um, but he also know how fucking painful it was to touch up my fingers. But anyway, so I'm looking at this post and it's this like beautiful, like very skinny line floral design. And I'm thinking about this like full sort of sleeve that I want to do. And I know that I want him to be the next person. Um, and the first thing I'm like, wow, that's beautiful. And I asked him, like, how much did you charge her for that? I don't know where his prices are today. Um, And he said, "Oh, I just like charged her like I think it was like 200 or it's 200 to 400. I don't remember the price." And he go the second thing he said before I even opened my mouth was, um, "I should have charged more, right?" My response was, "I'm not gonna tell you how much to charge, and I'm definitely since I'm coming to you soon, I'm definitely not gonna tell you how much to charge, right? Not that I'm taking advantage, but I am leveraging where he is, of course, right? That's what we all do." My thought process, like I was processing this conversation later because I got so excited. I'm like, yes, I can, save up for this. I can make this type of investment on my body. Like it's something that I am just like addicted to now. If you have tattoos, you know what it is. So I'm later thinking like, why is he still charging that little? Does he have shame around it? Since he like immediately said that he also knows I'm an artist and business coach. And so we've had conversations around business and money and things like that. He is an incredibly talented muralist. He has done so many amazing outdoor murals and just work in general for Industry City, which is now like of course his like studio space, and just like different restaurants and commissions, and he's an incredible artist. So of course I think he's charging chump change. And then I'm thinking about this podcast around shame, shame around money and charging like like exorbitant amounts, and people really inflating their prices to just get by for 1 month, right? If I charge $5,000 on all of my services, I may get 1 or 2 people every 6 months, right? I'm happy with that, but at the same time, I'm not reaching lots of people. I'm not reaching 10 or 20 people. I'm not reaching 100 people by doing that, and if my goal is to make a broader impact, then that's not necessarily gonna be my business model. So, I'm thinking about what he said, and he's charging his friends less for more because of a couple of things. I'm thinking about like the rationale behind this that maybe he's not even aware of. I'm thinking about the fact that it's funny. It's fun as fuck for him. I'm thinking about the fact that he gets to exercise a different creativity bone in his body. I am thinking about the fact that he gets to hook up his friends in like a very beautiful and genuine way, that these friends get to show off his work as a walking billboard, free ads, essentially. I'm also thinking about the fact that he's getting this exposure, but he's also practicing a fairly new skill. And so he's not inflating his prices to the point where, he's just getting 1 or 2 clients. I mean, this kid is getting like all his friends, and so many people are coming back. So not only is he probably making the same amount of like high ticket dollars as he would be making if he charged every client a $2,000, $1,000, depending on how big the piece is, right? Because it's all custom. Right, tattoos are never like one set price. They start usually at one at a minimum, right? An hourly minimum, but some people charge by piece. And that's just like based on the person, right? That's subject to the person. So those were all the things that I was thinking about. I'm like, you know what? He probably doesn't even know how fucking smart that what he's doing is. He's not shortchanging himself. He's doing it because he fucking loves it and it's working for him. And that's what I really try to embed in the artists that I work with, that every single thing you do is not going to work for the next person. I don't have any real desire to be a millionaire. I've been so frugal in my life. I've been more frugal as a freelancer. I've navigated money rather quickly. I can live off of the basics. There are moments where I crave, getting up and traveling the way that I used to, or I crave buying jewelry or getting a tattoo on a whim. Sure, I think we all do. Even if you have the money, I think that you will still always have cravings, right? For a fucking Louis Vuitton bag. Um, and when you're good with money, of course, like you're even just like more careful about your investments, right? That's like adulthood. But um, you know, I really am just like so impressed that he's doing it the way he wants to do it, and I want my clients to also feel comfortable doing it the way they want to do it, and in a way that's profitable, right? Because artists wanna sell, but that ick that we get sometimes around selling, has a lot to do with not really being sure about what we're selling and why we're pricing it this way, and is this okay? And I'm just like, fuck that shit. Yeah, it's okay. I'm the leader of my life. I design how I want shit to go down, or I would not be working for myself. I hate being told what to do more than anyone on the planet. I mean, I was fired twice for having a fiery mouth and rebelling against the system constantly. So I wouldn't be where I am if I still wanted to be in that space. But I play with my pricing. I play with things that I offer. Um, I can change my prices whenever the fuck I feel like it. And that's something I want to empower other people to do, is that there is no, roadmap, as many fucking things you can Google, as many free master classes that you could um, sign up for, as many different classes as you can take or master classes. And I'm all for being very consistent about professional development in a serious fucking manner, doing your research about who you're working with and making sure that you connect heavily with that person, whether it's a mentor, a friendship, a lover, whatever it is, right? There's trial and error in everything. I've worked with fucked up people before who totally took advantage of weak moments in my career. And I let that happen as well, right? The onus is not off of me. But the listening to the podcast and, like, having this conversation with my friend, it just, like, aligned immediately for it definitely gave me validation for how I'm running my business. Whether I am super successful right now or not, I believe that the way that I my mindset operates by wanting to impact the greater good, that to me is like my top priority. And I think that sometimes, I am talking to the wrong ideal clients. I'm really like unraveling that recently. Um, and I'm talking to people who have major challenges with money mindset, major challenges with their own worth, right? Those aren't necessarily people that are going to align with my confidence and are going to align with wanting to be in my space. Do I want to be in your space? Right? It goes both ways. And so yeah, this is kind of just like me riffing off of my recent experience. And I'm going to keep popping on here with my random thoughts. I am definitely going to niche down a little bit more and have some specific topics. If you are watching this replay, then please comment, please share this episode, please let people know that I've started this project. I am, unclear on where this is going to go, but I hope that that inspires you to try something new. Again, this show, I want to call this podcast Terry Talks. Um, your no bullshit artist and business coach talking all things taboo, uncovering the art industry nonsense, grounding yourself in confidence, leadership, and your ability to run an unwavering, confident as fuck arts business. Peace out.